professional YouTubers here. We will fix that in post. All right. Welcome to Biggus Geekus. We are your hosts. I am Joe.
And I'm Randy.
And I'm Pat.
All right. We didn't cut him off this time.
I know. He was like, I don't think they want me to do that anymore. Do it all the time.
This is episode 100 of our show. The date is Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. How's it going, fellas?
Great.
Wonderful. I've damaged up my office, man, getting that thing cleaned up. Don't look like you can't see my big head in the way, but I got a lot of crap cleared out, so that's ball.
Yeah, your noggin really just kills the whole ambiance.
You can't see it. It was the floor that was a mess, so it's coming right along.
All righty then. All right. Before we get into what everyone is here for, let's see what everyone means. All 6 people. All right. It's probably more than that. It's always inaccurate. Before we get into our episode 100 festivities, such as they are, we have Patrick here, as you heard in the intro, talk about his report from Gencon 2022.
Yeah, dude.
So take it away, Pat.
So last week, Randy, you noticed that I was not horribly excited to go to Gencon this year.
I did.
And we were already, before we even got there, thinking, probably not going to come back next year. But I was pleasantly surprised this year by Gencon. Things were a lot different than I expected them to be. Now, there is one thing that drove me absolutely batshit insane about Gencon this year, and it was masking. I hate wearing a mask. I've noticed several people at Gencon hated wearing masks. I mean, they have us. They force us to vaccinate before we go, and okay, yeah, I got my vaccine. They have you wear this yellow bracelet the entire convention, and you can't take this thing off anywhere. It's meant to go on your wrist, Wednesday, and doesn't come off till after Sunday. Yeah, I had to shower with the thing and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's to prove that you've been vaccinated. And on top of that, in any Gen Con controlled spaces, you have to wear a mask. And I don't care who you are.
Legion got a question for you.
Now,
Legion says, Patrick, did you say hello to the Iron Crown folks for me?
Do we need to have some sort of reminder what that entails?
I guess they got into a fight with Legion of Myth. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the 3 guys I worked with.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure it isn't the guy who runs Iron Crown.
One of their internet fellows.
Yeah.
But the guys I work with at Iron Crown are good people. Didn't hear them mention Legion of Myth at all. But if you wanted me to say hello to them for you, I still can. I'm still in contact with them. But
you didn't cut off all contact with Iron Crown?
No.
Incommunicado?
After the first day, we decided that even though we went through the process of splitting it off, Iron Crown would have kind of been left with their cheese in the wind. They would have gone down to 0 priority points and had to register again like a new exhibitor in January. And I kind of thought that was really unfair. But Mr. Caldwell, the guy who runs Iron Crown, he was more amiable to no, let's continue doing this. We get a deal on the booth for sharing.
Mhm.
I'd like to mitigate all costs. It's been a good relationship, and so he wanted to continue it, and I thought, you know what? Nope, I'm gonna continue doing this.
Oh, you
All
are?
right.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're gonna stay with them. Okay, cool. Well,
Yep.
good. It's better when things are. I know you weren't too. You were thinking it was the end. That's pretty cool, though. That's so good to hear.
Well, maybe next year someone we know will have bought Gen Con and will end the mask shenanigans. Because there's no reason to not have it next year either with monkeypox.
Right.
So
don't make an excuse.
that will go around the globe. That will be on the calendar next year probably. Hopefully not.
I don't
So
care who you are. The masks make it kind of more difficult to breathe, and when the weather outside is hot with a side of hot and hotter, by the time we're done with the 8-hour shifts, I pull the mask off and my entire face is chapped.
Oh my goodness.
Violent Solves Everything says, I love that they chose to make the mark of the vac yellow. Yeah, that's kind of the spirit of the whole thing.
Yes.
Yellow.
Go fear.
I've noticed a trend though. As soon as people leave the convention center, those masks come right off.
Gotcha.
Mr. Max Boivin, that is cheeky.
Very cheeky.
For monkeypox, you have to wear the mask on your ass.
Actually, that's like a triple entendre. That thing I just said. I should get like an award.
He is French, so entendre is how he rolls, baby.
Yeah. So for monkeypox, you have to wear the mask on your butt. I will say.
A lot more people there this year than I
really
expected. Yeah, they broke 50,000.
Well, that's good.
And I think a lot of people, it's the consensus among a lot of the exhibitors, because I got to walk around and talk to a ton of exhibitors, that people were hungry for getting out and doing stuff again. So everybody wanted Gen Con to be, Gen Con. And I was actually surprised with how long people were up doing stuff well after the exhibit hall had closed. And we were all in bed before midnight every night because we only had 3 people at the booth,
right?
Which I am never doing again. Minimum 4 people. Next time I go.
Yeah.
But there were people doing stuff well into the night, and the big open gaming hall was still packed well into midnight. And I thought that was surprising. I thought they'd shut everything down, small town style at like 7 o'clock.
No.
I know a lot of the restaurants were. I know Steak and Shake now sucks.
I saw your post.
They now have pickup windows outside on the street, and they also now do kiosks. Order your food. You order yourself. You seat yourself. You get all of your stuff yourself. You come get your food when it's called, and there are no waiters or waitresses.
Wow.
So all of those waiters and waitresses who looked forward to Gen Con because they'd make like half a year's like tips in like one weekend, and they'd willingly work all of Gen Con, now can't do that.
Dude, I remember when I went, there was we would go to the Ram is not open anymore, right? That's no longer a place.
They closed.
The Ram was the place to go, and I remember talking to some of the wait staff, and the owner of the Ram would bus extra people in from Bloomington, Indiana, and they would work just the weekend. And the wait staff were saying, we're making a bankroll. And the guy that ran the Ram told us, he goes, man, I make a third of what I'm making the whole year during Gen Con. So that's a shame. There's a lot of money people are not making because of that. It's pretty bad.
57 million this year that Gen Con brought to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. And they probably could have brought a little bit more if they weren't such dickheads.
Oh, yeah.
about the mask and the vax, there would be more people there. There was a lot of people that didn't go just because of those things.
There was one thing I did notice, though. There were a lot of empty booths. Far more than I expected. It's where the curtains are there, the booth space is empty, and they have the placard for the company that's supposed to be in that space. But they're just missing. They either never showed up or, it's...
So there were a lot of people attending, but there were also a lot of vendors or whatever people in the booths not there. Yeah.
We were supposed to share a booth wall with exploding kittens, which I was kind of worried about that because I know how big of a draw exploding kittens is, and that big furry kitten vending machine that my wife loves to try out every year.
Right.
We were going to share a booth wall with them and possibly have, lines wrapped around our booth. But
they didn't show up?
Nope, didn't show up. They had a little booth at Asmodee, demoing the game and stuff, but the big kitty vending machine, not there.
Well, you never know why there's some of that going on. There's some people didn't go because, and I saw some commentary, people didn't go because they called it a super spreader event.
Whatever.
Even with all the restrictions. And then you had folks didn't go because of the restrictions.
Right.
And then so you don't know which side these folks are on who didn't show up or had altered their presentation like the Exploding Kittens did. So who knows?
I noticed that a lot of people didn't. I didn't see as much like blatant virtue signaling as I have seen in previous years. I mean, it was there, but not to the extent that I was for the last couple of years used to.
Really?
They didn't advertise a lot of the woke stuff.
Were there protesters out front saying you should move to a different state because of reasons? Because I heard some of that too.
Nope, and
we don't need to get into it, but I was just curious if there was any of that.
If there were protesters, never saw them.
So it sounds like the mask stuff didn't stop a lot of people, good, bad, or ugly. Didn't stop as many as you thought. Were there any big companies that you would say didn't show and you were kind of surprised?
Steve Jackson Games.
Oh yeah, they bowed out, didn't they? Yep. They quit.
Paizo,
they're the one.
Not as packed this year.
Really?
I think
every time I walked over towards Paizo, they had there was no line and there was only a few people milling around in there. And that kind of shocked me because usually Paizo is the one booth that everybody is scrambling to get into. And I don't know if it was just every time I went over there, but I went over there quite a few times and it wasn't as packed as I would have expected it to be.
Yeah. Now was Catalyst Games seemed to be affected by the Pardo thing. Did you see them?
I saw them, and yes, I even made a purchase there. I will
get on your knees and beg for forgiveness right now.
How dare you?
No. I will not bend the knee, even if it's for that. No, I bought stuff for Shadowrun, and
it's understandable. What are you going to do? Personally,
for those who might be interested in the old Shadowrun trading card game, they're bringing it back.
That's another thing that's coming back.
Yeah, the old Shadowrun trading card game. They've renamed it Edge something. But they're bringing it back at the living card game model that Fantasy Flight Games had. So there's no collectible element for it. Kickstarter will be up sometime in a couple months.
Yes, Malachi has it right why Steve Jackson didn't show up.
Yeah.
Those are the protesters that they said were going to be out there was the abortion protesters.
And you saw them?
I saw.
Never saw them.
I saw a picture. They were protesting something else.
Yeah.
But a different thing. But
probably protesting being protesters.
Food trucks are pretty good this year. I never really ate at the food trucks before this year. But
then the food was good.
Yeah.
I
especially
a lot of times it is.
I especially like the Wild Bill's soda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you said something about that online too. That's cool.
I bought a mug from them for $45. Thing is as an exhibitor, they put on a little tag on it that gives you free refills the entire weekend.
Nice.
So we got our money's worth out of it.
That's good.
Hey, you also mentioned HeroScape's going to be coming back, right?
HeroScape's coming back.
Ooh, that's so cool.
They haven't decided on how they're doing it, whether Hasbro Pulse is going to run another crowdfunding campaign or not. That's
a Hasbro property.
Yeah,
they own Avalon Hill, and Avalon Hill owns HeroScape now. Have they always owned HeroScape? Did Avalon Hill make it first? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
I wonder if it coming back out is going to increase or decrease like the eBay prices for older stuff. Because I was looking because that's probably if I get any of it, it'll be there. But it's pretty expensive.
I imagine it'd be the same thing as with HeroQuest. I mean, HeroQuest, I don't think it's really affected too much of the pricing of classic HeroQuest. And speaking of HeroQuest, the Mage in the Mirror, aka the Elf Quest Pack, is due out this coming spring.
Yeah, I own most of the HeroScape stuff, and I'm looking forward to it.
I look forward to you guys buying it and telling me about it.
They got a sweet new dragon. Patrick showed the picture of that. I'm pretty excited about getting. Oh, I can be suckered in for a dragon. Yeah. So
I had a good time. What's HeroScape?
Well, it has a lot more than 4 minis.
Yeah, a whole boatload, dude.
Well, I guess you have your team. So when you deploy your team as a player, you have 4 or 5 figures of yours, and then something like that, right?
If he's looking at pictures from Gencon.
Shauner said, "What's HeroScape? Is that the game with the 4 minis and plastic hex tiles?"
If he's referring to Avalon Hill's display model, yeah, I think it only had like 4 minis on it, and then the plastic hex tiles.
Yeah, but there's a bunch. They have the old iteration of the game, which there's no reason for them to switch gears and make new rules or anything like that. There is a buttload of figures and stuff, but a set has probably 20 figures in it, something like that. Depending on which one you get.
Set, you get more than that.
Yeah.
HeroQuest proves that all you have to do is re-release an old nostalgic game, and people will pay top dollar for it.
I've got just about all the HeroScape stuff. I think I'm missing a couple of the last few things where they went out of business, but I've got a buttload, and I had a bunch myself, and I bought the superheroes, and I bought the D&D one. That's the only miniatures war game that I've played that really holds my attention because it's simple.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the games that are overly complex, and you got to have a whole book for your army. You got to paint all that crap. I mean, there's great people that want to do it, but I'm a real, yeah, that's it. HeroScape, that's what they're going to call it, right, Patrick? Age of Annihilation?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Shauner. So I think I hope it's good. We'll see. I hope they don't change the rules too much, but I'm sure they will. So.
I wouldn't bet on that. And like I said, HeroQuest is like piece for piece, word for word, just a re-release of classic HeroQuest. There were no rule changes at all.
I've still got my Mythic tier in its original shipping box. I have not even.
You will be able to get some good money for that.
Yeah.
Or when we hook up tomorrow for me to help you move that giant heavy thing.
Yeah.
That could be your payment.
As tempting as that sounds, I don't think I'm going to need you tomorrow, Joe. No, just kidding.
Dickhead.
Yeah. So how did Pointy Hat do? How did you guys do in the end? Did you sell some good stuff? Did you make a little cash?
We didn't make back what was actually spent on the booth from like years ago, but as far as sales, this was probably our best year for only having one little card game. Brimley is a huge draw.
You might have had some coof magic this year with fewer other vendors. They had the thing that you don't like having next to your booth, drawing all the eyes away. Since people had the time to look at what you had to offer, they're like, "Oh yeah, I like that."
Did you sell out then of your stuff you took?
The only thing we have left are core sets of our game. We sold out of all of the copies of our expansion. We sold out of all of our little plush Brimleys.
Yeah.
We had one little thing called the Brimley bundle where it was like everything in a bag and charged like $25 for it. Yeah, we sold out of all of those.
Just a board? I don't think so. Well,
it's a board game, and
kind of. Except you don't move. I mean, it's more of a little miniature skirmish game, is what it is.
It's a skirmish game. Yeah,
I brought it to Cabin Con. We played it.
Yeah. It's all right. It's not role playing. I mean, you could role play it kinda if you wanted to, but that's not the point.
And it's not a war game. It's not a full on. It's not Warhammer in complexity. I mean, it's
no
little Risk like. I think it's Risk like. You roll shields. I think I roll swords.
I guess I missed the point that Shauna was trying to make. It's just a board game.
Oh, Hero Quest. My bad, Shauna. I thought it was Hero Escape. I misread that, dude. Shauna said Hero Quest is just a board game.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. Is that a board game?
Hero Quest, yeah.
It's a board game.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. Yeah. Shauna was.
I'm just not sure what it was being compared to, or
you had Hero Escape, which is more the skirmishing, like what you were talking about, Randy, and Hero Quest is the board game, and they're both fine for what they do.
Yeah. Okay. I get what he's saying now. He's talking about it being a fixed board rather than something modular.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Hero Quest, yes, is just one board, and all the dungeons they make for it fit within that specific board.
Would you agree? I think Malachi's got it, Patrick. Yeah, it's a dungeon delve board game like Descent.
Exactly.
It was the original one, wasn't it? The original one next to Dungeon, the little game by.
It was the first really big one. There was Dungeon, of course, but it wasn't really the same. Hero Quest was the first one that really brought in all the miniatures and all the fun stuff and Escape. Oh,
yeah, that's what he was responding to.
Yes. Right. Okay. Yeah.
You want to really get confused?
That's up in the chat that we did.
Yeah. Okay. We just missed
There's
that.
a Hero Quest role-playing game that has absolutely nothing to do with Hero Quest.
Oh my!
Except brand recognition, maybe trying to get some sales that way.
I think that's why we didn't have a Hero Quest board game revival sooner. Because the name Hero Quest was snatched up by the guys who did Rune Quest.
Yeah. So Patrick, would you say then that on a scale as a vendor, how would you rank this amongst your trips to Gen Con as a vendor? You've been a vendor, what, like 6-7 times? How many times you been now as a vendor? More than that?
I think either 4 or 5.
Okay. So
weird when you miss a couple of years.
So let's say 5 that you've been there. Is it your best, your worst, right in the middle? How would you say?
If you take everything into consideration, it is not the best Gen Con just because of those masks. The masks drove me nuts.
Yeah. And you had to wear the mask while you were in the vendor hall, and then you could take it off, or while you were
while you were in the convention center.
But not if you were in a satellite hotel.
No.
Doing something. Oh, because there was lots of gaming when last I went in other hotels.
That, and there were a lot of people trying to skirt the mask thing too.
Good for them.
So there were times I walked into the convention center, and in more of the out of the way places, you saw tons of people who were around the gaming table, none of them wearing masks.
Yeah.
They even in the exhibitor hall, the 2 hours before they let everybody in, there was a ton of vendors that were just nobody was wearing a mask. And then like day 2, they made an announcement, attention Gen Con exhibitors, you must wear a mask, blah, 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 blah.
Wow. But during the operating hours, all the vendors are wearing masks and all the attendees wearing masks in the exhibit hall and in the convention center. But once you got outside of the convention center, they're controlled.
As soon as I got onto a skywalk to go to a hotel,
done. Yeah.
Yeah, because the rest of Indiana went away from mask mandates a while back.
Quite a while.
Oh, and the Gen Con block party where all the food trucks were, nobody's wearing masks.
Food trucks, fabulous food. Very cool.
I mean, you have your few people who are like, I'm going to mask for the rest of my life. I'm going to wear a hazmat suit to Gen Con.
Right.
But, that's not the majority.
Yeah, I agree with that, Mr. Blavan.
Yep.
Mask really so Gary Con
statistics back that up.
Gary Con's worse.
I know, you got to have a mask and
have
boosters.
All boosters.
Oh wow!
All boosters.
Goodness.
So Eric Tenkar was talking about somebody he knew that she got her first COVID booster, caused heart palpitations. Her doctor says, "Okay, no more getting boosters."
Now she can't go to Gary Con.
And it's like she couldn't go to Gary Con just because they don't have all the boosters.
Did Tenkar say he was going? You remember?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He didn't mention it.
Well, that's fascinating. Look at Shauner said Comic-Con had masks, but the celebrities didn't wear them.
Of course.
Rules for thee, but not for me. Gotcha.
That tracks. That tracks.
So we were going to have a bit of an announcement. Well, plan. We'll say it's not really an announcement, but we have some plans that will make some people happy.
Are there any questions from you guys or our lovely viewers?
Yeah.
Do we have? Yes. Oh, DM Kurt. Welcome.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with that. If the celebrities don't have to wear them, no one should. And you've seen that in a lot of pictures of important politicians when they have their parties. That all the quote unquote important people are maskless until there's a photo, and then an important photo. But all the servant class people have their masks on. It's really bad.
Violence Solves Everything asks if I got to look at Rolemaster Unified, and if I did, what are my thoughts? I did get to check out Rolemaster Unified. They did not. They missed the mark by about 2 weeks from having a print run because they're in their final layout stages. But Nick Morowitz brought these big spiral bound tomes for Rolemaster Unified and had everything in it. Man, oh man! If you
did multiple people have to carry them?
Yes, I think monks had to bring them in.
Wow.
Yeah.
There were several offers. How much just to buy these spiral bounds? And Nick's like, no. But man, that thing is going to be massive. I mean, it's bad enough that the Heart Bestiary that they just put out is thick enough to kill somebody with. Rolemaster Unified is going to be 3 of those.
Whoa.
Yeah.
For the core game?
For the core game?
Oh, well, normally it's character law, arms law, and claw law. That's the Rolemaster paradigm from the past.
It's basically going to be... I saw it for sale, but I didn't thumb through it. I didn't get as much time in the exhibit hall that I would have liked.
I bet
Jeff
gave you money to buy that, though, didn't he?
Now, he's talking about for folks on the audio. Yeah, Legend of the Five Rings. Martinson had a question about that, if he saw it and what his thoughts were. But
yeah,
the 5e version.
I physically saw the book, but I didn't get to look at it.
Right. So you didn't quite finish what you were saying about Rollmaster Unified, 3 volumes, big enough to you need a truck to drive it into and back it into your game room.
It basically takes every single book that Rollmaster has ever put out, collates every single rule and every class and every background and everything, and puts it into 3 gigantic tomes.
Is it bigger than this one?
That is about the size it's going to be.
Yeah, because you're looking at the one we're going to be giving away tonight, Grimtooth's Trap, in comparisons on top. Here's the other one. And Grimtooth is a beast.
Yeah.
Weird
Frontiers.
Batty, sorry. Get it right.
I can't even imagine what Rollmaster Unified spell law is going to look like.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But yeah. That's weird. I mean, I understand, but some of that collating, they had to have discovered that some of it is overlap or not needed or not well designed. So why don't we just burn it? But no, they decided to keep all the things. Do you know if that's the case, that they definitely kept all the things, or if any of it got scrapped?
I didn't do that close of a deep dive on it.
Well, I mean, that would just be a question to ask somebody. That wouldn't be something that you would want to try to go through the book and say, I wonder if this particular thing from this obscure book is in here, and then thumb through it. No.
I do know that had RMU been out and available, they would have made a lot more in sales, because most people came by looking for that. Yeah. Although, to their credit, they did sell a lot of the Harp core books, which means that they got a lot of newcomers into Harp this year. And I think half of that was due to Aaron Smalley running games like a madman.
Yeah.
And this dude was running like 16 hours a day.
Whoa.
Games of Harp. And man's a machine.
Dude, Violence Solves Everything says, well, I don't have a problem with thick books. I'm disappointed to hear this because they only do POD, print on demand, and not proper print runs. Is that the case, that you're only going to do print on demand for that book?
Well, if it comes from a good printer, it shouldn't matter, but no. I get what he's saying. Generally, print on demand runs or a print on demand thing.
I do know that Drive Through RPG did their print run for their new books for this year.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of a problem with the print run of the Harp Bestiary softcover. Now, the hardcovers didn't have any problems, but the softcover, there were quite a few of their softcover books where the page numbers are like all over the place.
Oh no.
Like page 1, page 50, page 3, page 75, page 342.
Oh my. So the pages were in order, but they were misnumbered like crazy.
Numbered. Or are you saying they were misnumbered or they were out of order?
They were out of order. They were all over the place.
Yikes.
So, that's a bad look.
Iron Crown, hope to get your money back.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So was that a print run or was that a print on demand?
Probably a print run specifically for the convention.
Yeah.
Although I did pick up a Harp Bestiary. Mine was hardcover though, so mine is numbered correctly.
Yeah.
I think that considering the supply chain issues and other things that have happened over the last couple of years, that I'm hoping that more printers in the U.S. will open up.
Yeah.
Speaking of printers, I got to meet with a few manufacturers that are hawking their services.
Cool.
One approached me. They print out of Poland.
Oh, that's cool.
So, if I can have an alternative to China, I will
Amen, brother.
gladly take it. In fact, I had a 15-minute conversation with some of the guys over at they're the press that does Shadows of Estrin and Fate Forge. Man, they're not pleased with China.
No one should be.
They went on for 15 minutes. This guy went on for 15 minutes. Don't you get me started on China.
We should.
I'm trying to avoid them myself.
All right.
Are you still on about Lulu Legion of Myth?
We need the non-Lulu printer. Help a brother out.
Yeah, he has some issues. They're legitimate.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be nice if out of this could come some more printers here, other printers overseas, so that you can print things there and not have the shipping issue. So if we could, no, I'm on about having effing books that need to be printed.
All right, baby.
I get that. So yeah, if we can find some alternate resource for folks, maybe get a network going, that'd be great.
Yeah. So
all right, let's see if I can. I'm going to look for questions. You two talk.
Yeah. So besides, I know Brimley was pretty popular still. A lot of kids looking at Brimley is his little puppet hat. You have a little puppet box that Jeff made for you guys this year, and you kind of use the hat as a little puppet, and that was pretty popular, right? Folks were.
It's not just popular with kids.
No, adults like it too. Cool.
There's going to be tons of videos out there of Brimley videos. Like
right.
when I was working them one day, there were a bunch of people that come by and ask, "Can I take a video?"
Mm-hmm.
You may take a video. Say hi to my kids. Hi to my kids.
Was there anything else outside of Pointy Hat that you would say was a big buzz at Gen Con?
Any OSR games at Gen Con?
Iron Man asks.
If you consider maybe like RuneQuest might be considered OSR.
Well, they haven't changed their rule set, right?
Not really.
It's the same game, so kind of, yeah.
In fact, I picked up a copy of RuneQuest.
You couldn't say for sure there was no like 1E or 2E going on, right?
No, but there were a few booths that were selling some ancient books.
Really?
Yeah, you could. There was some place where you could pick up the old basic and expert sets for relatively cheap.
Yeah. Cool. Well, man, that's cool.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to say about Gen Con? I don't see any real questions here for you.
Yeah, at this point.
Well, I'm going back next year.
Cool.
I hope Gen Con gets better. I hope they ditch their mask mandates and
stop being ninnies.
Maybe keep the woke stuff to a minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I hope they do too.
Prevalent this year.
Yeah.
Hell, I couldn't even find. We didn't even find the BIPOC room.
I couldn't find it, and you looked for it some.
It was on the second floor somewhere, and Joyce said there was a sign for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of those little easel signs that's just kind of outside the door. So they didn't really make a big stink of it.
Well, that's fine.
Thanks, Legion's begging you not to go back. Legion Miss says, Patrick, no, don't do it. You'll become a pod person.
A print-on-demand person? Because I might get into that.
A what? What?
A print-on-demand person.
All right, man.
All right. Well, if that's all from the Gen Con.
For Legion of Myth, the magic book for Earth Dawn 4th edition, I asked, and they said that should be available for purchase in a few weeks.
Okie dokie. All right. So with that being it, we're going to say good evening to Patrick. Hang out with thy wife and go to thy workplace.
Yes, man.
Have a good one, guys.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank
No
you.
problem. Always a pleasure.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Now that we have the place to ourselves.
Right. No one's allowed to hear us. Perfect.
All right. Legion of Myth. I don't buy ED books anymore. I didn't know there were erectile dysfunction books. Are there? I'm not. Oh, that must not be what ED means. What am I missing? What am I missing?
He's trying to avoid having to drink, I think.
Yeah. Ed books. Ed. And he meant Ed.
Yes, Ed books.
Yes.
Not Ed.
Hey, Bruce.
Yep. Bruce in the house.
All right. So let's get on with this 100th episode.
Yeah,
thingy.
man, the century mark. That's pretty cool.
I was about to scour the internet for some fitting imagery for our thumbnail.
Yeah.
Then I just went with text.
There you go. That's
I
fine.
had a long day, so.
Fair enough, man. No worries.
Ed, and Eddie. Talk about a cartoon you can't make these days.
Yeah.
Hey, that wasn't out that long ago.
Hey, since we're transitioning, you want to tell them to do the things?
Let's do the things.
Do the things, people. Like this sweet podcast, number 100. And subscribe.
Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification. Make sure you're still subscribed.
Yes.
If that's an issue, because for some it is. If you want to support us in the cash way, let me see if I can find this. Do I have it?
I'll put your little scroller up.
Nod. No, oh yeah, the scroller. The scroller.
Sweet scroller.
That's there.
Yeah, pay us. Oh no, wait a minute. There they are. All the sweet
any and all donations to Biggus Geekus go. Portion of it will go to support Big Geek Emporium.
Right.
Which is having some bumps.
Okay. Well, I gave you that contact. Have you contacted? You are not contacted.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So we're going to set up a talk time at some point.
Excellent.
All right. So we finally made it to 100.
Yep.
It's a little hinky because I made some videos for us out of the normal order, but all of our properly numbered episodes are at 100.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if you're willing to go down this path. I want to talk about our history with D&D. I was thinking about that. Do you remember when because we were mainly D&D guys, and do you remember? I think I played before you, right? I got the game.
You did.
So I remember correctly. Came home from church one Sunday. I must have been 11 or 12, and my cousins Rodney, Ryan, and Gerald Jr. were talking about a bugbear army.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is going on? So I said,
what is a bugbear?
Yes, a bugbear, a bear, a bear. What the heck's going on? And so I check it out, and boy, they are like having a heck of a time talking about magic weapons and spells. I'm like, man, this sounds awesome. What? Okay. That is not me.
Yeah. What are you doing, Randy?
Your wife.
Don't.
I thought you two were going to be the Bobby twins and wear the same shirt. I'm so very proud of you two and love you very much. That is my wonderful wife, Deborah.
Yeah, my shirt that it matches his shirt.
We had planned to wear this.
Is in the wash.
Yeah, we were going to be like, totally simpatico. Thanks, hon. So anyway, she's watching us probably for the first time all the way, listening to us anyway. So D&D, I remember that, and I got into that, was playing with them. And, like I said, my cousin Rodney, I got to tip my hat to him. He's the one who got me into it. And I went down the road for a player for a while, found out I was a very sucky player. And I said, you know what? I need to hornswoggle my pal Joe, and Robert, and Gary, get them into this game. Is that what you were calling as the first time you played? Gary's Basement?
Gary's Basement.
Right.
Not Gary Gygax, unfortunately, but our friend Gary.
Right. And yeah, so do you have any things that you remember from the very early years? And we had that sweet little red box or magenta box, whatever it was we played. I can't recall which one I had. And we were playing D&D down in the basement. Anything about that? Do you even remember stuff? I got one situation. I'm intrigued to see if you have it, if you remember. I got two maybe.
If I remember anything particular?
Yeah, I mean
the crossbow. The crossbow. I throw my crossbow. That wasn't me, because I knew what a crossbow was, but we had a very young player at the time, Eric, and he was, I don't get being scared at the game table, but he was very young, and he panicked, and which he did frequently at the game.
Yeah.
Quick decision. Let me do the wrong thing, because that always works. And throwing the crossbow. I throw my crossbow.
Well, to be fair to him, he was the youngest at the table, and Joe's character goes, I throw a magic missile. Friend Robert goes, I throw a spear. Gary goes, I throw my dagger, and he goes, I throw my crossbow. And we're all like, what? Why are you throwing your crossbow? That was crazy. So there was a lot of things got pretty wild during that era. We did lots of crazy stuff, magic items all over the place, a lot of give and take. I'd give them to you, and I'd take them from you.
Right. Wind elemental, or no, just the king.
Right. That's why you
Kang.
The Kang. And
King of the Wind Elementals. You have entered his domain somehow in this random dungeon somewhere.
The very first adventure I ran you guys through was that you had to retrieve Excalibur for King Arthur.
Right, because we were low level PCs, and he couldn't go get it himself.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's true, Malachi. He didn't want to be left out, so he had to throw something. Fair enough. But anyway, and so yeah, and then I thought I had a penultimate adventure after a while. What is that, Bruce?
Oh, that's something else that's going on in chat. Someone in there. Someone's got coyotes.
Gotcha. Get him. I think that was Mr. Boivin.
Yes.
Coyote stuff. Do you have anything from the early days that you? I mean, all my memories there are pretty much, they're hilarious and fond. I don't regret really anything that we did. I don't know if I would change it. Maybe
Gary always had lycanthropes at his command somehow.
Yes.
Was it lycanthropes?
Control,
and who was it that had the elementals? Was that you? No, you were running things. Somebody had elementals.
I was pretty fond of giving rings or the controlled creatures. And you guys, I don't know who it was. I think Eric had that actually, the elemental control.
Maybe. Well, it was a regular thing. Gary, no matter what player, it seemed like he frequently ended up with lycanthropes under his control.
Right.
And then somebody had the elementals, and then we always pitted the Roman and the Norse gods against each other, like
Greek.
The WWE.
Yeah,
the Greek.
We got where we could, because we played you could summon gods with right prayers, and I don't know what we did, but
it was
nice. And it became, if we got into a fight, if two characters got into a fight, they would summon their god. I don't know.
Yeah, it came from not reading the rules.
Yeah. Now, but
once I actually read the rules, then we were like, oh, okay, all the shenanigans must end.
Joe's like, we're not doing this right.
We're not doing this right.
Yeah. And I remember you I don't know if you were in this adventure or not. So I was a Monty Hall DM from about 12 to probably 13, 14. Just crazy, give everything away. And we were sliding into first edition, just slowly getting books. And we were still playing a mixture of the basic set and 1E. And I remember the last adventure I ran as a Monty Hall DM. My cousin Rodney again was playing as a multi-class ninja illusionist who had grenades.
Because we used to be able to convince you to let us run the NPC classes from the Dragon magazine as
right.
PCs. This doesn't look that powerful.
Yeah. And it was I could have sworn there was some kind of, at a certain level, a ninja could make like a grenade type thing.
Grenades, yeah.
And they had
make them. They didn't have to buy them.
You guys were so high level and so loaded down and powerful. You went to the first level of the 9 hells. Now on 1E, That's where you fought Tiamat, or where you could fight her.
Could.
Had you fight her, and you guys killed her with a freaking grenade because her body had like 50 stupid hit points. I was like, what? It was so ridiculous. And I threw my hands up and said, yeah, you get all the treasure, you got all the magic items, you win the game, I'm out. I was just flabbergasted. And so realized that Joe had been talking about, probably for at least 6 months to a year, about, hey, we're doing the game wrong. He's like kind of trying to feed me these ideas. I was like, keep playing. And Joe didn't care because he's still having fun. He casting high level spells. But then I said, okay, we're starting over. And I'm said, D8 hit points, that's how it's going to be. Good luck. And I think that's when I started down the path of magic items. What are you talking about? What are these magic items you speak of?
You don't need no stinking magic items.
Stinking magic items, man. And during high school and stuff, I think we hit our stride playing 1E for the most part. Correct, Arn Man. I had yet to meet the Tarask, and we had not yet fallen in love. I did not got Monster Manual 2. But when I did, oh yes, it was a match made in heaven.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we played pretty hardcore, and then even I can't remember how long after high school before you went full time in the military.
It was, I think, 2 years.
Because we did this, so it had to have been. Wait a minute, we did that survey, right?
Yeah.
Did the survey, and did 2E come out after you had already moved away?
It may have, because what I ended up doing was my junior year in high school. At summer, I went to basic training. Then I finished high school and went to AIT, which is your job training in the military at the time. I don't know what they call it now, and then I came back, and then did a couple of years in college.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Decided to go active duty. So
we played second for a little while. Oh, my wife's chiming in. She says 40 years later, he still doesn't give up.
He says you've got to earn them, and then when you earn them by adventuring, because that's what earning in D&D is adventuring.
I'm wounded
he still
by
doesn't give
that
them
here. I'm wounded by that, Joe, and my dear wife. What does Bruce say? Randy, get salt in wounds. Is that a product, or are you just saying I don't?
Yeah. That's a thing.
Oh,
that's a Tarask adventure.
Yeah, Debs. Yeah, thanks, Malachi. He said 2E came out in '89. Darth sends you condolences, Deb. So, but hey, suck it up.
So we graduated in '85.
We did.
And then I went active in '87.
But you came back to college still, right?
No, I went active duty in '87. That's 2 years later, after high school.
Oh,
and
okay.
then 2E comes out in 89. Yeah, I was in Germany for that.
Right. Max got my back. Says, good man. Magic should be just out of reach. Real enough to tease you, but a fantasy at the table. Right on, dude.
Yeah, you guys have it wrong. They're in the book for a reason.
What a crutch. Oh, no, Aaron. He's a good dude, but dang, he was born in '85. It's all right. We'll forgive you.
I was just getting up. We just got up for breakfast in '85. It's breakfast time.
So yeah,
we just finished high school.
Yeah. So we were pretty much Greyhawk hardcore then. And
yeah.
You left for the military. I was going to college nearby. Then we got in second edition, played that pretty hard, fought a Forgotten Realms, a little bit of Greyhawk. And when I was about getting tired of that, along came Ravenloft. I loved that for a while. Joe was not in the picture then. I did the whole thing, and then Planescape came, and that's Malachi. Randy does prefer. That's true. I do have better taste.
So mm-hmm.
Savage Worlds riffs.
I think taste has been made questionable.
That's just what they're saying. I can't believe it. Look, pause again. Yeah, Max. That's right. Max says Legion of Myth. Max. They are in the DMG. That's magic items. Therefore, magic is for the NPCs. That's what
your logic is flawed. Because there are also treasure tables in the DMG for when you fight and defeat the monsters. So your logic is flawed, sir.
Disagree. The treasure was for the monsters. If you happen to get it, good for you. But I did my best not to actually have it ever exist.
Right, right.
I roll. Hey, is it my fault that I kept rolling like 0-5 and never getting treasure?
Yes, because that sounds like a cheat. You
Maybe.
cheated.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't roll at all. It's possible.
It's possible.
So anyway, we did the whole, Planescape, Ravenloft, did all the box sets, collected like a crazy man. I did. And Joe was didn't you collect quite a few things in the military? Second edition?
Second edition, yes.
Yeah.
I think on when I got back from Germany, I had in tow the black player option, DM option books.
Right.
And was puzzled about them because after I bought them, because you buy them. You just not try before you buy back in the day. You just bought them. And then you get into them and you're like, oh, this may not be as good as what I was hoping.
Yeah, you were fascinated at first. But I'm sorry, guys. Both my wife and I are both responding under my. It's going to be tricky to tell. It won't be hard to tell it's her.
I think she needs to get her own screen ID. You need to sort that mess out.
She's trying to do multiple things, so she's probably only halfway listening at this point. But yeah, so you and I didn't play a lot of 2E together, did we? I don't think we did. I don't think you and I played a lot of second edition together, did we?
No, because I was in Germany when it came out, and by the time it was rolling around to third edition, by the time I got back to the States,
and you were in DC,
or I was still on active duty when third edition came out, wasn't I?
Well, you were in Oklahoma for a bit, and then you went to DC, and that's when third edition came out. Now we got back in tighter contact then, a lot of talking on the phone back and forth.
Yeah.
We were both excited about third, and third came in, and we both played, and we kind of kept in contact about how much we liked it. I learned a lot about the campaigns you played in DC, and I remember you had a halfling dude that was pretty powerful cleric. That was pretty cool.
Right.
And I played all kinds of third edition games. I mean, from pretty much all over the place.
Yeah, third edition. I can't remember the date that it came out, but I wasn't separated from the military until 2000. So it was out before that. 3E made me get out of the Air Force.
Yeah, because you had to go buy all the books, right, Max? You had to get out quick and have more time to play.
Yeah. He didn't get paid enough by the Air Force to buy the books, so he had to get a different job.
And before long, Joe and I got back in the same region. He ended up moving here to Michigan. And we were playing, was it 3.5 by then? Probably was. And we were hardcore 3.5. We rolled into Pathfinder. I played a big Seven Spheres campaign. That's kind of legendary. Joe was a big part of that. And we took characters from 1 to way past 20. And we had a heck of a good time with third edition. It was fun.
I think that once when I moved to Michigan, 3.5 was in its twilight. And then soon after that, they were talking about fourth, and then Pathfinder came out.
Yeah, and about the time they were jabbering about fourth is when CabinCon started, somewhere in there.
Somewhere around there. I mean, this past CabinCon was what number?
16.
So 16 years ago. 06.
2009 would be when Pathfinder came out, I think. So yeah, 4E Pathfinder, right around that. Yeah.
Somewhere around there. I don't know. I don't remember the years that all these things came out. At my age, everything bleeds together sometimes. But yeah, that's our roll through the editions, and then we got into Pathfinder, which is not D&D, but it tried to be
3.75, really, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the same. It's a 3E engine.
And CabinCon had a good 5 or 6 years where Pathfinder was the game that everybody played. We had a massive group campaign. We played stuff at home, Rise of the Rune Lords, different adventure paths. Really, just that adventure path. I collected a bunch of them. I got them on my shelf back there, but don't have.
Yeah, we were chasing the new shiny, except 4E just wasn't good enough.
No, we were. I remember that. You remember the first CabinCon though? We were talking about it. It was like, oh my gosh, are we going to switch? And they were saying all the right things. But when it came out, we were like, that's dog poop.
Yeah.
Because I think Pathfinder must come out after Cabin Con start. I don't remember. Anyway. And then not too long ago, was 2014, was 5e. We skipped that for several years and continued with Pathfinder.
I continue the skipping unless somebody drags me kicking and screaming into a game. Or just Randy says I'm going to roll 5e. And I'm like, okay, I guess.
Joe will play, but I understand it, dude. Like I said, it's always my second choice. If we sit down with 5 guys, like, what are we going to play? And we're like, hey, let's play D&D. I'll probably proffer up several other editions before 5th. But if we're all kind of him-hawing around it, how about 5e? And a lot of times, my wife, she's bad.
Oh, she put her little icon so we know who's who.
There you go.
There you go. Good job.
She's being nice to her hubby. She said it was the best campaign ever done. You need to write the book. She keeps telling me I should write a book, but no one wants to hear about that. I do appreciate it. Legion, why did you do that? What did he say there?
It was not 3E, no, but it wasn't anything that I liked either.
You have to admit, it was worse than 3E, Max. Come on, dude. You can't possibly think 3E was worse. I guess you could.
I don't think he does.
Okay.
Or he doesn't. We'll just let him speak for himself.
He probably, basically, Max says, I bought 4E hoping it wasn't 3, and he was partially right, I guess. It wasn't 3, but it was something. But anyway, so 5e I played for a while. You weren't really into it, and we bounced around recently. Kind of Savage Worlds. 13th Age had a long stint at our table, and 5e is going around. Now we're kind of back to basics. Literally, this Thursday, we're starting a campaign of OSE. So
yeah, because I don't want to give my money to people that hate me.
Yep.
And from all appearances, Wizards of the Coast and Pathfinder are people by folks who would be abhorred or would find my stances abhorrent, even though they're pretty uncontroversial.
That's crazy. That is the
so. Okay, good. We thought we were going to have to talk him down from the ledge, but
yeah. Yeah, he said no. 4E was worse than 3, but cat poop or dog poop doesn't matter. That's pretty funny though. Oh yeah.
But we understand.
We understand, man.
I think that with the mind I have now, if I was going from 1st or 2nd edition and 3rd edition came out the way it was, I might pass.
I thought a lot about it, and I would absolutely still play 3rd. It had a lot of things that I liked about it, and I still think I miss it sometimes. I get Max makes some good points about now everybody's in everything. Dwarf can be whatever. It all ends up being, if everybody can be
homogenized,
then it's homogenized. That's a fair take. But you know what? There's something I thought about recently. I haven't told you. I actually think, maybe I have said it, I like 2nd edition better than 1st. I would absolutely change some of the caps because I do believe that was dumb. But I think 2nd is better than 1st as far as D&D goes. Oh, sweet. Thanks, Bruce. He's going to rewrite 3rd for you. Appreciate it. I will buy that when it comes out. Let me know.
But we'll put it up on the Emporium.
So anyway, what do you think about right now? Well, besides your mind being I know we've said before, you and I both are at kind of a old school mindset, but not hunky. We're not loving the old rules completely. We would
right. I like the spirit. I'm not married to the rules. I don't like racist class necessarily. I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite rule. I think the idea that not everybody. It seems that most play is focused in levels 1 through 7.
Yeah.
8. Once you get past 7, 8, a lot of people are like, oh, don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the sentiment of the crowd,
right? In
general. Some of it is because long-standing campaigns can be rough to sustain. And a lot of people play short-lived campaigns online because, for one reason or another, that might be their only gaming outlet. So I don't want to poo-poo on that. I don't prefer online gaming. I prefer face-to-face. But I understand some people just don't have that option.
But right now, in a perfect world, where would you, if I said, okay, because we're starting a campaign Thursday, and I hope this lasts really long. Here's what I hope it becomes. It starts out as OSE, but I hope it ends up somewhere else. I actually think I'm going to expand the rules as we play. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I may do a complete jump to second edition. Don't think so. I think I'm just going to add components, take the mud sword stuff that we liked, start fitting that into characters. Say, hey, your character can do this now. You can do that now. And who knows, maybe they'll come out. Plus, I'm going to be, running a game that I hope to maybe get published at some point. We'll talk about that later tonight. So, so if I were to say that, if I were to say, if we could play anything, would you would want more modern rules, but third, fourth, or fifth D&D, fifth edition D&D is not fitting that bill. That's why you're more comfortable going back to the old stuff right now.
Right. So, yeah, I have the same opinion. Start with an older rule set, and then discover with our new kind of mindset that we have now,
right,
where we lie at with rules. I mean, rules. We have fun no matter what we play.
For sure.
Right. Our crew, we can play any rule set and it doesn't matter. But if we get to make our own rules, we're going to pick something other than the third edition beyond stuff. At least we might pull some things out of it. All race, all class, we will not. And if I have anything to say about it, because I think that's silly. But it's all going to depend on how often we get to play and how often we get to let our minds crunch on the rules and maybe alter them where we like. And it's just going to be a matter of taste. Most of these quibblings about rules are a matter of taste. It's not really objective in any real way.
Bruce says, starting with OSC, take 4 college rule notebooks and a trapper keeper, and at some point your house rules become. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start.
And you could fit that OSC book in there because it's small.
It's small. Well, Jeff, who's going to be joining us, bought the advanced version of OSC, which I have just realized during VentureCon and now because someone had it. It takes AD&D mentalities and fits them into OSC. So you still have caps of 14th level, but now with the advanced rules, you can do race and class combos. I don't know how it works, but you can be an elf something and a dwarf something. And they've added a ton of new classes and stuff. So I don't know. I'm excited to get mine. I did the Kickstarter, so I'm still waiting. Hopefully it'll show up soon. And I'll have a couple. It
still has the essentials part to it.
It's still basic. It's still first of all.
Right. So it's not going to be an all-encompassing system where you can have a portion of your game be at the low end to mid, right, and have that typical 0 to hero, which really is in that realm.
Yeah.
Once you get out of the 14th level, a lot of people think once you get out of 8th or 9th level, you're in the superhero realm, not hero. But that's a bit of quibbling that we have between ourselves. It's a matter of taste.
Yeah.
It's
and by the way, we are starting at 3rd level, not 1st. So, 46 drop the lowest place where you want. So
okay.
Anyway,
that's OP. You got to change that.
I know.
3d6 straight down the line.
I know. We'll see how it goes.
If you and roll your hit points, if you have 1 hit point, you have 1 hit point. Suck it,
dude. Rule raw, baby. Raw.
Right.
Yeah.
But apart from D&D, we've played a lot of. I've played several different kinds of games. I've played Rifts, some Palladium, other than Rifts. Lots of different superhero, espionage. Played a little World of Darkness. Glad I didn't get stuck in that. Although I wish I might have played Mage. That might have been more to my taste than Vampire.
I liked Vampire Dark Ages. I don't know if you didn't play in that game.
No.
Tim Scott, some of the others, his wife, and a few other people, Amy and Trent, my wife. I enjoyed that because I kind of like the Dark Age setting. But vampires and stuff, I'm not into playing the monsters.
No.
Thing.
No.
What do you think about, before we move on to the Biggus Geekus podcast itself, what do you think about the hobby now? I know I mentioned last week something and you were like, no, the hobby is only what happens at your table. And I get that that's actually the truth. That's literally all we have access to.
99% for any individual, that's where it's at.
And I was mentioning I was feeling kind of down, but I think I figured out where I was at. I don't think I'm down. I think I'm looking at my set of books and I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of them. So folks that are on the podcast, you probably expect quite a few contests coming up with me and Joe will probably set some markers to do some, but I may just do some randomly.
Okay, because our next marker is 500.
Right.
So
and so
we have to get on the ball, and our folks here have to help. Well, they don't have to. It'd be nice if they helped us get more folks in, but it's difficult.
I will absolutely be probably doing more giveaways. Oh, this is true. Oh, sorry. Max made a good point. And I do like this about old school. With low hit points is that characters, they're usually also the ones who are limited by armor. True. Any hit can kill you. And that's cool. I actually like that. Oh, wife is saying no to something. I'm not sure.
Third level, low level.
Oh, right. She'd rather start at 9th level. My wife would start at 9th
15th.
level. Yeah, 15th and move on up with lots of magic items.
Yeah.
She likes being powerful, which I can't blame her. It's a power fantasy after all, really. I mean, to me,
I like growing into it, but once I'm there, I dig it.
He says that.
Can you dig it?
But if I said, hey, you can make a 9th level wizard, and you can have 7 magic items, Joe would not say no to that.
I would not say no. However, I would tell you what I always tell you when making a powerful character from Jump Street. Is you don't know the character well.
True. That's the hard part.
It's better to start out low and play enough of that character so you know what they're capable of. I mean, you could say 9th level and you can maybe kind of know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
But until you play that character, you don't know what you're capable of with that character within the setting that the DM has.
Yeah.
So it's much better. It's much better to play up.
Yeah. So yeah, we're starting at 3rd level. I want to use experience points as well. I'm probably though going to use that old table that I had for Mudsword instead of OSE and use my advancement system. But we'll see. We'll see. That's what I'm leaning toward. Anyway, so yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? D&D and RPG, our history, things there's a lot of stuff we've mentioned throughout the podcast.
Right. I mean, we've mentioned it all before, but we'll have it here in one nice spot. And yeah, I'm good. But we can move on to part 2, which is the Biggus Geekus part, which has been more recent than the rest of the gaming.
Yeah.
So we started Biggus Geekus a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
A year.
What are you thinking about that, Joe? Because you're the guy that brought up to me, said, hey, we need to do this.
Okay.
Thing.
In the similar vein to you, my wife was like, you should do that.
Oh, okay.
She said she's the one who turned me on to potentially doing a podcast, which is now a YouTube channel, which she also encouraged me to do. So
I'm looking real quickly on my computer. February 11th, 2020 is when we did our first time. Oh, what's Todd? Hey, Todd. I don't know if I know Todd. Welcome, Todd.
The name is familiar, but that's about it. I think maybe out in Twitter land, perhaps. Anyway, when I was playing in Bert's bucket list series of games, we did the accelerated leveling. So within one story arc, we go character gen and some of the power-ups. That's fine too, especially if you know the system well enough, or it's close enough to systems. I mean, if you're familiar with gaming at all in what we do, you can probably level up fast and be okay. Yeah. Not for new players, though. I don't think. For people new to the hobby.
Yeah, and I'm starting 3rd level because when we ran the Mudsword game, we got to around 2nd, 3rd. I think the Thief got to 4th level before we kind of
real fast.
And so I think I want to begin there. I don't think that's asking too much of anybody at the table to play a 3rd level character.
No. I mean, you can skip the first couple levels, be fine, but that's about it. Anyway, yes.
So your wife encouraged you, and then you contacted me, and we did. You said you want to have a few in the hopper, so we did 4 or 5 anchor podcasts before we even put any of them out, right?
Right, and we weren't even sure if we were going to release them. We just did them.
Right, we just did.
And then when we were like, okay, let's put them out, I lost one. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. We had to redo one.
We had to redo one.
Yeah.
And so it was only audio. We started out on, let's see. We started out with, what's that? Skype. Yes, we started out on Skype. And what we thought, I kept blaming it on your internet, and it ends up it was probably my internet that was causing the problem.
Inconceivable.
Yeah. So we could conceivably go back to Skype. We might even be able to go back to Discord, because that's where we went next.
Yes.
We went from Skype to Discord to Zoom, and then we finally here in StreamYard for the video. But Discord, if you remember, we had Craig the bot recording us, the record bot. We were always yelling at Craig because he was always messing up.
Yes.
And he's just a bot, so whatever.
So do you remember why? I mean, what made you? I mean, besides your wife saying you should do that, were you just like, it'll be fun? Oh. You and I talk about this crap all the time, anyway. So why not?
I was complaining. About podcasts. I'm like, okay, I found this cool RPG podcast I thought was cool, and then all of a sudden it took a left turn. And by left, I mean left on the political spectrum. They decided to, they were talking about what do you call it? That's where I learned about the safety tools, right? So they didn't call them that then. It just was the X card, and they were talking about the X card. I'm like, ooh, that's dumb, and and other things, being overly sensitive to, the DM has to be uber accommodating to every sensitivity. I'm like, no, I say no to that.
Go ahead.
But after hearing, hey, Matt Barninger, hey, go check out his channel here on YouTube. Matt Barninger. Go check out his channel.
Just Matt Barninger, the channel? All right.
Yeah. So, go run over to Matt Barninger and subscribe. Then come back here and keep listening to me talk, because that's what you want to do. Yeah. So, I was complaining about how I can't find a podcast that I can stand listening to for more than a week.
Right.
So she said, well, why don't you do one? I'm like, duh. Why don't I?
Why don't I? And I'm going to make it too.
Right. So my first thought was, why would anybody want to hear what I have to say about anything? Right. But, we all of us probably who do this to some degree or another thought that. Maybe not. There's some people who are kind of arrogant out there who probably didn't, but I know I did.
Oh, yeah. I didn't. I mean, even us having, how many people we have in the stream right now, 10, 15, it's super awesome to me. I think
we have almost 20.
Dude, I feel like we made it.
Yeah. I feel like we made it. Last week we had upwards of 24 because the what's it folks came in.
Yeah.
DVR's folks came in and hung out for a while. He's another YouTuber. You should go subscribe.
It's interesting to know, because we started out on Anchor and we had a small audience. Though after a while it grew. We got in the 80s, I think, didn't we, when we started to do YouTube? And is there anybody in the stream now that heard us just on Anchor? Anybody out there just listen to our podcast? That'd be interesting to know. If anybody out there
used to just listen. If they're listening,
used to just listen on the podcast, or that'd be interesting to know that.
I think Arnman did.
Oh, okay.
I think, if I'm remembering correctly.
And our friends did. I mean, we had 8 or 9 friends that listened to us. That was nice of them.
Yeah, who aren't here tonight somehow.
Well, I guess
shame on you folks.
We know these losers. We ain't got to hear their
Tim crap. Scott, where are you? Tim and
Larry Elliott.
Larry, who's here all the time, except for our 100th episode where you need to be.
I know. We need them.
If they were here, we'd be at 20. Now we're at 18. Oh, yeah. Martinson's here.
Martinson, duh.
Good deal. And your wife is listening. So we got 2. My wife would be in the house, but she's got a migraine. So
Legion said he listened to us just before we switched.
Yes, that's true.
Martinson's here. He's always here. That's our dude. But the early days, we really didn't. I was uncomfortable, and I think I'm still uncomfortable. I mean, I'm just now getting comfortable on the screen. I think Max had made a comment once to me that I seem different. That I seem different on. I think I was on a Friday night chill stream than I was when I'm on Biggus Geekus. I think I'm more animated here. When I go visit someone, I feel a little more...
A little stage fright kind of thing?
Yeah, a little timid, because Max, he's, Legion, they're like big time, dude.
Max cuts an imposing figure.
He does, and you don't want to mess up on that show, dude. I mean, you say Planescape at the wrong time, you're out.
That's right. Lightning bolt from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Arnman says...
Yeah, Patrick's still here. Iron Man heard us on Anchor. Cool. That's neat to know. But you know what? We definitely are reaching a lot more people.
Oh, okay, Pat. I thought you were off doing other things, but thanks for sticking around.
Probably listening, getting ready. No, Max, I think that was I wasn't hurt by that. It was a good thing that you said, but I think you were right. You didn't say I was timid. You just said I seemed a little different, and I think it was because I was being a little more timid. By the way, I need to get on this Friday night chill streams. We're having some fun conversations. I need to get a part of that. I just never.
They stay up too late.
Yeah, but I could always do the first couple hours and then last 6 and let them go. Talking about this though, right? Biggus Geekus is a nice T-shirt.
He likes Captain America too. The real Captain America, not the phony
Steve
one
Rogers,
they got out there.
the only Captain America, yeah.
Steve Rogers. Somebody else can wear the suit, but they're not Captain America. Anyway,
is it just me, or did Legion kind of lead us to YouTube? Meaning, didn't you get inspired by watching that, and you had gotten contact with Max? Is that how we kind of started thinking?
Kind of, sort of. I said, "Hey, they do this," and my wife was like, "Yeah, why don't you do that?" So she's really been going. Go do things. She's been very, very encouraging.
Yeah. Anyway,
she will sometimes be in the chat and encouraging people to hit the like button and doing all the things a moderator would do. We tried doing the moderator thing, and I kind of flubbed a little bit here and there, but yeah, she's been a real help. Awesome help. Yes. So yeah, that's about the time. I think it was about this time. See that?
Yep.
Competition.
Messed up, Max, dude. No, come on now. We can't compete with the big Legion.
Well, they have a much higher end show than we do.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a graphic designer, so he does
they got some
interesting things.
If you don't watch Legion of Myth, you're missing out.
Right. So I think that's what moved us here into the YouTube land.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I think, fractured our audience a little bit.
Did it?
Because, but we still publish our audio to Anchor for now. But Anchor might go away because Anchor is getting absorbed by Spotify. Little bit at a time. So at some point we may have a different alternative to Anchor to announce. I'm not sure what that is at the moment, but
okay.
So our audience fractured a little bit. Unite the clans, yes.
Right, Matt Marninger.
But it's okay to have friendly competition. It makes us better at what we do.
Yeah.
And I've taken some cues from them. I don't know if they've taken any from us. I doubt it.
I've stolen some topics from them. So yeah, works out good.
All right. Okay. I should do that. Fountain is the app that I'm listening to, the podcast that I listen to still most. It's a fledgling app, so it crashes some. It's not completely stable, but they have they're kind of tied into the crypto thing. So if you think crypto's dumb, you won't care, but you can still listen to the podcast.
All right.
Anyway, so that brings us to last year, because we started YouTubing last year, I think, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
About this time, roughly.
Yeah.
So we're about a year on YouTube. We're at a little over 300 subs, which to me seems low, but it seems a little low, but people still say, no, it's not that bad. You got to start somewhere. They're encouraging and all that stuff. So we appreciate that.
Yeah. And so, I don't know, I think we're going to talk about, because we're getting close to here now, maybe it's the future. Where do you see us going with the podcast and YouTube? You're talking about, so if Anchor's going away, we're still going to publish the podcast though, right? Well,
sure. Anchor, I don't think it's going to go away exactly, but it's being absorbed by Spotify, because on the website now, on their website, the Anchor website, it'll say Anchor, and then another quarter, it'll say by Spotify, something like that. BY, not BUY. And they just announced that they're cutting notifications. So you won't be notified when things happen in the background with your podcast. or with people who send you send you something that you need to read or whatever through Anchor, or send you a voicemail through Anchor, you won't get any notification. So they're stripping down their services to just being a repository for your podcast audio. So, right, Legion, SoundCloud. So I'm actually thinking that if we can get enough revenue going on this, that we might have our own server.
Oh, okay.
That we, house our audio and video on,
Mm-hmm.
and then disseminate RSS like a lot of other people do, like through SoundCloud or whatever, instead of, or through just Apple. I mean, if you publish to Apple your RSS feed, it eventually trickles to everywhere. But then there's also podcasting 2.0. So as long as your podcast is in that registry, which is easy to do,
Mm-hmm.
you go to podcasting2.0.com or podcasting2.com. I can't remember specifically. You get your podcast in there, and then it goes everywhere as well,
Right.
especially in the new apps. So one or the other, you're going to get your audio everywhere. So we don't necessarily need to be on Anchor. It was just convenient at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know that we need to stay there. Red Dice Diaries left to go to go onto a different service. Their apps are not that great, so and they keep saying in ads that sure, we will put ads on your podcast. You can do ads for us. We'll pay you. You can make money off of them, and we have yet to have seen any of that. So, and it says, oh, you don't have to have a specific amount of subscribers. I'm like, okay, well, we don't have that many. So is that true?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. So, so in any event, Anchor might be a thing of the past for us, but the podcast audio will not. We'll distribute that no matter what.
That's good, because I don't know if folks here know this, but I actually religiously listen to our YouTube podcast every week, because I want to make sure, one, all the good ideas you guys suggest I don't lose, and two, things Joe and I can improve on. Joe doesn't have the time or interest, I think, to listen to us. You never were much on listening to our podcast again.
I don't like listening to myself.
Even though you do have a melodious voice, my friend. I think that I've gotten used to listening to myself, as goofy as I sound, but I like to hear it because there's so much information. Like, oh yeah, someone said that. I meant to write that down. And here's something that Malachi said. Maybe you have to hit a certain amount of ad revenue before you get a check. I don't know.
There haven't been any ads.
Yeah.
So if you listen to our podcast, there's never an ad in there, and they've never approached us to do any ad reads. So it just hasn't happened.
Well, we could also bring some things up because let's kind of lead this into Geek Emporium, but kind of as I want to do a bigger topic. So about a month ago when Drive Through did what they did to Venger,
Mm-hmm.
Joe was like, I was as angry as Joe gets, and I think he was ready. You just took off with it because you knew there was a place for that to happen. And Big Geek Emporium is going to happen. It's going to be a thing. Hopefully it'll be a big thing. I think 2022 and 2023 is going to be a pretty big year for Biggus Geekus. Oh, what's Legion saying? I hate watching myself after the fact. I nitpick all of my ums and so ons. Yeah, I feel you. Same thing. But I do have a good time. I chuckle at the comments. That sometimes I don't hear things as we're talking.
Right.
Just in the recent one, I was like, oh, that was funny. I totally missed that. Or if I go to the restroom and Joe's still going, or Joe and Patrick last week, I'd missed a piece. But I think 2022 and 23 is potentially a big year for us, Joe, because I think we're going to have Big Geek Emporium. We're going to have, hopefully, I'm going to be publishing, I'm going to go ahead and spill the beans here, an adventure. I've got it titled Tragedy at Tygun Falls. It's going to be an OSR compatible adventure for levels 3 to 5. Expected to work pretty well with most OSR games, though I may throw a few wrinkles in. I hope to put that up as a PDF on on Big Geek Emporium. I think we're also going to be having a Big Geek Con. The name will change, but I think that's happening. My wife and I are both very pumped about organizing that, and
You love organizing.
it's going to be. I think it's going to be a big year for us. I'm excited about this year, actually, Joe. Yeah, Legion's going to be rolling out soon. But what do you think about Big Geek Emporium in particular? You got any news for folks? Anything on the?
Well, we have a few creators who have decided to help me test it out,
Nice.
and with no promise of any kind of reward.
Oh, cool.
And I think I am going to offer something, though I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of hurdles we have to get over, and one of them is there's this annoying upload problem we're having. Once we hit a file size of about 250-ish, it starts giving me, the website starts having errors. So it won't upload the product, or sometimes it does. It's hard to know, and it's annoying. So I don't want that experience for anybody who joins us. So I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. The stated and printed limit is 512 megabytes, so it shouldn't be a problem, but it is. I've been on, I've done a few things. I'm going to try some more tomorrow. And the upcoming week that I'm off, actually 2 weeks off, my job got it wrong, but they said I could still have it off, and I was like, I'll take it.
Cool.
So I'm off next week as well.
Nice.
So I'll be hopefully cranking out the website as soon as I can. So there's that hurdle.
Yep.
There's a print on demand hurdle I would like to solve. There's a couple of things that the creators that I've talked to would like to have, like email, marketing email to their buyers, which makes sense, but for some reason it's kind of nowhere in any of the software, so I have to add it myself.
Right.
Which will happen. It doesn't seem all that complicated until, of course, you get into it. So, right, which has been this whole project. I knew it was going to be complicated from the get-go, but it's more complicated because of potentially incompatibility issues with plugins that I'm using off-the-shelf software instead of writing it all myself, which I don't have time to do.
Right.
So I've gotten some a tech guy that Randy had met at VentureCon.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can at least talk. He can do some testing and help us out.
That'd be cool.
If anyone out there who has reached out to me about providing tech assistance listens to this or watches this and in the future, please get back into touch with me. I've reached out to a couple of people, but I haven't heard back from them for one reason or another. It's life. I get that.
Everybody's busy. I know the guy that I connected you to. He's got a full-time job. Both of the guys. There's another guy.
Yeah, everybody's got a life.
But
right.
So we'll do it at the pace that we can. It was like I was feeling, it's funny because I'm working on that adventure and I'm going to write it. You're going to be playing in it this Thursday. I'm using it as a starting off point for our game. And I'm intrigued to see when I write it first, I'm going to write it mostly like I write every other adventure I do for me, but I'm going to be throwing in things your PCs can do this, consider that. And then I'm going to throw out to some people. I'm going to ask a couple of folks that are here that have been on our podcast. And I think probably a couple of my friends to look at it and give me their thoughts of just the premise. And then I'll try to write it in a true module format. And before we go on, Mr. Boivin asked a question. Who is this person? I just looked it up. You're writing an adventure about Chrissy Teigen. Who is she? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tragedy. They're going on and on about her. I guess she's some actress or something, huh?
She's a lefty.
Oh, is she? Okay. Yeah.
She's married or just attached to a singer who's also wacky leftist. So
Martinson says, so Randy, you're going to prep way too much? Yes, that's correct.
Obviously. It's Randy.
It's the only way I do. That's how I do.
And if you're going to sell an adventure, you're going to have to prep. It's going to have a little more than what is necessary. At least a little more. Maybe a lot more. It all depends. Yeah. John Legend. Yeah, he's a wonderful singer. He has a great voice.
He does.
But
yeah,
if you hear him talk, you wish he'd never sing.
Right.
Go away.
Yeah, writing that adventure, I hope will lead to something more, but I don't want to go down that road yet. I want to get the adventure out. I want it to be on Big Geek Emporium, and I'd like it to be up very soon. So I was feeling a little guilty because Joe was working so hard, and while I could help in some ways, not on the computer end, I knew I had to get something done. So I'm trying to make this module happen and be one of the first ones we sell for, or maybe we'll have a Big Geek imprint. Who knows? That's big dreaming, but why not? We're going to dream big.
You might as well. I mean, shoot for the stars. Maybe you'll hit the moon. Yeah, kind of thing. So
if not, we tried. So
right. So yeah. So I'm hoping end of the month for Big Geek Emporium, if not a little sooner. Mm-hmm. I might start without POD and just go with PDFs and other downloadables. Okay. So there's a fella who's interested in audio, music. Probably he didn't specify, but perhaps music just for mood music for your game. And someone also said something about fiction. So anything that's a downloadable project.
David Gow asked about any headway on the file size issue.
I think the biggest file right now, without causing any problems, like I was just saying, is 250 megs. Mm-hmm. I tried zipping a file, that file you sent me, Dave. The small, I think this. Oh no, I didn't try that one. There's another one. I was trying out a zip program to see if I can crunch, how much I can crunch a file down, just as a workaround until we can figure this out. But the most you're going to drop a file is about 10%, I think. So your file at most 30 megs, that won't get us down low enough. I think that if we could find a program, I know there's an online service that crunches it down, but it has a small shrink ratio, but high quality afterwards. And then it says there's like a more dangerous one where we'll crunch it down real small, but the quality might not be so good. And so we're not going to do that.
Maliki asked, would you offer a discount on print on demand for previous PDF purchases after POD is offered?
Well, that would be up to the author. That would be up to the creators. I mean, if most of them are okay with it, maybe we can do a site-wide kind of thing.
I would love that.
Okay, so Dave is saying the cap is still useful because you can try to export at lower settings to keep it under that amount. There's also a potential, I don't know if it would work for your products, to have it in sections. I know it might be wonky for people who are expecting a book, but maybe it comes in 2 or 3 parts. That can all be the same price. 3 pieces of one thing can be at one price. You have things like that already. So over on Derive Through, one of the nicknames I like for our site is Alt Drive.
Yeah.
Or the Alt Drive.
That's good. That's cool.
But if either lower settings or perhaps breaking it up into different files, which is probably not ideal. I don't want to ask a whole lot of creators. I'd rather them just be able to upload what they have. But I don't want to stretch out the opening of it too much farther down the road than I have to. Anyway, so that's Big Geek Emporium. We've got, like I said, we have some creators that are helping us out. The financial backing is kind of stalled, which I understand. We're in tough financial times right now.
All right, man.
It's fine.
We're going to
open regardless.
We can do some of it ourselves. So as it gets a little stickier, we'll put more money in. If I can't help as much on the computer, and I'll see if I can pinch my students for some more cash. You want a B? Is that what you want? You want a B? Well, here's what's going to cost you. No.
You want out of this classroom?
Big joke.
You want out of this classroom?
You want out of this class? You ain't leaving.
Toll. This is a toll booth right at the door.
Head, or it's going to be your head.
Yeah. So
that and the little module, small thing, and then Big Geekon. Well, we got a lot on our plate, dude. Plus keeping this thing rolling.
Well, by the time the con planning starts, hopefully Big Geek Emporium will be well underway, and I will hopefully have amassed enough profit to have a full-time web person, or at least someone who can do the web stuff while I'm doing my regular job. That'd be great.
Right.
Thanks, Cal.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you. That is so cool. We are excited.
Congratulations on 100 shows. Thank you, Cal.
Century mark. We didn't pod fade. That's good.
No, and I think when we first decided to do the YouTube, I think we lost some folks because when Eric Tenkar went from podcasting to video, his podcast updates became they slowed down a lot.
But you were on top of that, dude.
I think that there was some minor hiccups here and there along the way, but we always have our episode out that week.
And I think it's interesting because you do have to, when you're speaking on YouTube, we haven't been perfect at this by any stretch. You say things and we laugh. Sometimes we'll just start laughing for no reason. Well, there is a reason, but the listeners of the podcast don't see what we see. And our crazy little streamer buddies here start saying cool, funny stuff, and we're laughing.
Right.
We can do anything about it. But yeah. Are you ready? Have you thought about all you want to chat about? I think we should give a little thanks at this point where we've been for 100 episodes. I'd like to start. I got some thanks to give.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to thank my buddy Joe here. He is the dude that is the anchor behind this monster. Hey, Man of War, 665, neighbor of the beast.
The neighbor.
But Joe got this thing going, and then, of course, right next to him is my wife, who supports me all the time, lets me do a Tuesday or a last-minute Thursday, or, oh, my God, we got to do a Saturday, and still play D&D, and she plays when she can. So I really love her and appreciate that. My inspiration from gaming was my boys back in Indiana. That'd be Rodney, Ryan, JR, Jeremy, Eric, my buddy Gary, who's passed away. Of course, Joe, who's right here, buddy Robert, and Jason, my cousin, not to be last. All those guys are just, they got me into gaming. They helped me going. They were my team. They're my partners. And
Posse.
Turn this hobby into something that's been lifelong and awesome, and I love to get a chance to play with them. Not to mention the Michigan crowd, dude. They have an Indiana University. You met a lot of good friends there, Philip and Darren, and they're still around here, and Joe's here, and all my buddies in Michigan, too many to name, all sorts that have just been good friends. A lot of them are on the podcast. You've heard of them, seen them. So thanks to all of them. I appreciate that. So,
before I do any thanking, I have to say this. Man of War, 665, neighbor of the beast.
mm-hmm.
Do you ever have to go next door to the beast and borrow a cup of souls? Just wondering.
Cup of souls.
Cup of souls.
Oh, yeah. And Cal makes a good point. Even though I appreciate Joe, no one likes him. Well done.
Not really. You say you do. But
Yeah.
then when Joe's not around, the truth comes out.
Duncan Todd, thanks for congrats on 100. Can't wait for 2. Yeah, dude, we're going to push it. Talking about 500 episodes eventually. Almost.
So as far as being thankful, first I'll thank my wife because she's the one who's been pushing me into doing this, something creative. It's been a lot of different things, art, music, stuff that I may be able to do, but it's not necessarily in my temperament to sit and do. But I did actually start drawing a little. I did a kind of a leap where I actually started drawing a little better than I used to. So I thank her for pushing me to be creative and getting me into this. And Randy for coming along for the ride. All of our D&D buddies along the way. Everybody out there who have been, whether on our audio podcasts who've called in or here in our chats. Out in Twitter land. I mean, Twitter isn't completely a cesspool. I get a lot of encouragement there. So everyone who's been encouraging for our show and for Big Geek Emporium in particular here lately, definitely a lot of thanks.
See you, buddy. All right. You ready to head into the last segment?
Let's see. Yes. And actually we have, and I'm remiss at not having done this before, we had call-ins.
Oh, we can do that now, though, aren't we?
Yeah, that's
Oh, we had some call-ins. So we're not talking about the contest. Gotcha.
no.
No.
We had some call-ins that I keep forgetting to do. They're very short, so it won't take long.
Okay.
Okay, your wife didn't just laugh at what I just said, did she?
I don't know.
I heard her.
She's having fun. I think she's playing a game, watching videos, halfway listening. I said she's half listening to us. So
She should be full listening to us. What is she doing? That doesn't make any sense.
He's crazy woman. What you gonna do? Awesome, Joe. She loves you, Joe. Look at that.
She probably read the one where it says nobody likes Joe. That's why she laughed. All right. So Taylor from Clerks where Ringmail had sent us a couple of very short messages. So let me do all the ton of clicking that this infernal
not been listening.
System makes you do to share a thing.
Got lots to catch up on my podcast. I need to get up with Taylor and Glenn over.
Okay, so pay attention. This goes fast.
All right.
World of Weirth. World of Weirth is what you're looking for. I will send you a link.
And he did, and then I forgot to play this. So basically, I was trying to remember one of his episodes and blog posts about a thing that I can't even remember what it's about now. So yeah. So thank you, Taylor, for clarifying that.
Yes.
And I did receive that link. Second short message.
And lagomorphs are rabbits, aren't they? I'm sure someone on the stream will let you know. But yeah, lagomorphs are rabbits.
Cool.
Yes, and he obviously didn't listen to the whole thing or didn't pay attention because somebody did. And I think we even said, oh, the rabbits.
It's all right. So, we could always use a little backup. It's cool, Taylor.
Yeah, it's cool. Thank you for your assistance in knowledge, Mr. Taylor. I am very remiss in sending a message to him on his podcast.
All right.
That is all for messages.
Yeah.
And now we are going to the episode 100 Milestone Contest.
Yeah, baby.
In which we only had 7 entries.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Hold on. That's cool. I need to get my D7. Randy is not ready.
You have a D7.
Entertain them. I have one because I'm cool like that.
Because DCC has strange dice. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's everybody. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yeah. So, yes, for some reason, the creator of Dungeon Crawl Classics, for those of you who don't know, decided to make odd-numbered dice a thing for their game for some reason. When having regular-sized dice would have been sufficient. Though I guess it's an interesting differentiator for the game, even though there's a lot of other ones, because it's hardly a retro clone. With all those spell tables, a table for each spell that does all kinds of crazy things. Mar Hockman. Fun fact, in the olden says, I think he meant in the olden days, and that might be the way they spelled it back in the day. The words were weird back then. There were made brass dice with 26 sides. But that is an even number, which isn't that big of a deal. It's the odd numbered sides that are kind of weird. Kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit. When I was running cross country in high school, that's what, whenever we saw a bunny rabbit cross our path, we would wax rhapsodic about Bugs Bunny and kill the rabbit.
You freaking cross country runners, you're weird. Weirdos.
Weird weirdos.
Here's my D7, baby. Oh, can't see it. There it is.
Yes, right.
Dice.
D7 dice, which you hardly showed to the audience because you do not know where your camera's at.
I don't pay attention to my camera because I'm too cool for that.
Yeah,
There's
there
the
you go.
7. Slowly leaving the. I cannot keep it centered to save my life. Good Lord.
This tech thing, it has you stumped.
Dude, I'm really not that stupid. So this is what we're going to be winning. Grimtooth's Ultimate Traps. It is beyond awesome sauce. Except I want to clear my shelf off, man. I don't need traps because Joe knows I'm a kinder, gentler dungeon master. I don't need traps because I know I'm just very hand magic items and gold to my players. No danger whatsoever.
Okay, no.
Anyway,
If that started happening, I would ask you, where is Randy and what did you do with my friend?
hey, do you want to read those emails first and then we'll roll the dice?
Yes, that's what we will do. Hold on a
They're
moment.
supposed to be giving us a phrase or a comment that
Epitomizes
Biggus Geekus.
All right, I will start with the first one we received and go to the last one.
Sounds good.
So the first one comes from Arnman,
Okay.
and he just says, "Thanks, guys."
All right. That's fair enough. We do say that.
And thank you for joining us on our YouTube shenanigans.
Yes. Our man was one of our early people, I think, back in the podcast days.
Right. Josh,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy you guys and your discussion. Also, all the hours playing with you guys. And
Ooh.
poop.
Oh, that was see, Josh knows the secrets. Randy thinks poop is hilarious.
Okay. Let's see. Arnie has an actual phrase here.
Oh.
A show from old school role players keeping the glory days of RPGs alive. Have fun and wish me luck.
Cool.
Good deal. Good luck, Arnman.
Yes, indeed.
Timothy. Personal, passionate host delivering plentiful pontifications with perspicuity.
Oh, nice.
Tim. Some call him Tim.
They do.
Larry. I enjoy listening to friends discuss gaming and the interaction you have with the listener.
Cool.
Darth.
Right.
You guys seem like you could be cool to play with. We are.
Dude. We're totally cool.
Dispel all doubt.
Yes, like all.
I also like farming your guys' show for ideas in my games. That is really cool. Thank you.
That's good. Well, we have some ideas.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, bud.
Clericware ring mail.
Oh, that's our dude.
If you can't be big like us, then be geeks like us. I hit the wrong button. That,
Boom!
I hope you win, because that is
money.
definitely an epitome. Epitome. An epitome.
Win.
Okay, I want to double check the number here.
Yep, I got the dice. I got a D8 and a D9 and a D10 and a D11. Can't throw me tonight, baby. I'm ready.
Okay. 7.
7 unique people. Here is, if I find it, D7. All right. Big money. Winner is number 4. Number 4 is the winner.
1, 2. That would be Tim.
Tim. All right.
You don't even have to pay for shipping.
Oh, is that Tim? That Tim won?
That Tim.
Dang. Don't tell anybody. They'll think we're fixing this thing.
I think
All right.
of all of our contests, I think most of them you only had to mail one out.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks. If you want to win, you must enter.
That's
So
true. And this one did.
About 4, I think
Sorry,
3
dog.
or 4 of those,
Yeah,
3 or 4 of those 7 were going to be locals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they were set. They were smart. They were good strategy. Hey, 7 people. You had a great chance to win. Yeah.
So
Darth.
either they didn't like your contest or they didn't like the book. But
yeah.
Tim's going to like it.
Yep. Larry Curly wears them out.
I had a goof up on this episode at the very beginning. I played the end music instead of the beginning.
You don't mess up. I don't believe that.
It's the same music though.
I don't believe
Oh,
Taylor, my friend Joe, never ever messes up. True. Larry goes,
so
"Seen my
Larry's like, yeah, I've seen your collection, so I'm going to enter every time.
What's up, Duncan? In the house.
Oh, that's a cool little thing you did there in the
Yeah.
chat there, Duncan. He has a graphical representation of our 100th
Yeah,
episode.
100th episode. All right, man.
Uh-oh. Controversy.
On it, dude.
So
He's like, I'm just down the road, baby. He's in Michigan.
Yep. All righty.
Cal says the fix is in.
The fix is in.
All right, cool. I don't have to get his information because I'm going to see him this week. All right. So you want to put up that Zaslav article? You want me to?
Oh, hold on a moment.
Zaslav.
I believe I have it. Zaslav. That sounds like an alien. That's an alien sounding name.
We're going to go into great detail on this. I'm hopeful, dude. So everybody's probably heard by now that this David Zaslav's come in as head of Warner Brothers, and he's having people snap too in all the divisions of the movies, for sure, the DCEU. I'm really glad that he is too. He canceled Batgirl, which couldn't have been better because I think Batman was going to pass the mantle on to him. And there's rumors that Supergirl's next, the new Supergirl, not the previous one, and that he may be shutting down a whole lot of their stuff. I heard today over at Clownfish that he might have even going after some of the cartoons, like Harley Quinn might get shut down and a few others, but I'm not sure. I think Harley Quinn does pretty well, but he's coming after the animation too, and I hope the comics are not far behind.
There's a meme out where it shows, I think it's a reusable meme where you have the Grim Reaper going into different doors and then coming out with a blood trail.
Yeah.
And and they have his name Zaslav on the Grim Reaper, and it's all a bunch of DC properties. Right. So it's Helen Slater is back as Supergirl.
You could hope, dude. That was the original. She had the look. I don't remember how good of an actress she was. I agree with this. Green Apple, hope he licenses out the comics, yes, to real talented people. I would love to be able to buy Batman and Superman again. Let's see here. Malachi, there's talk of changes to DC Comics and layoffs. Oh, yeah. In fact, HBO Max is going to be stuck up inside the Discovery Plus soon. That's not 100%, Martinson. Some people are saying that it may not come out for another year. I tell you, after Bozo, who just the other day, Ezra Miller, had a felony breaking and entering on a place he had been staying in with friends. That dude is a nutbag. I would not release a movie with him in it, no matter what.
He's obviously mentally ill, or on a very long drug bender.
As much as it hurts me a little bit to say this, but I've always agreed. Malachi says if it doesn't sell, it's getting cut. Zaslav said, that's the case. Their comics have to go except for Batman.
Right.
And honestly, I hope they just punt them all and reboot them all, because he's talking about doing a 10-year plan, which we said way back when. That's what DC should have. They should have used the Marvel template, not the woke part, but tell the stories and get everybody in there. Tell your stories slowly and build up to something like Darkseid. Don't go all doomsday like 2 movies in. That was ridiculous.
Right. So according to this busy news week for DC Warner Brothers, Leslie Grace's upcoming Batgirl film has been reportedly shelved. I'm pretty sure it's confirmed.
Oh, yeah, it's done.
And will not be released in any format. And the amount of money they spent on it differs depending on who you talk to. It's either $70 or $90 million, and they still decided no.
Dude,
so
it was crap.
Even though it had Michael Keaton, according to this, Keaton and let's see who else was in it. There was a couple of people in it that I didn't know were going to be in it, and well, they don't care because they got paid, I'm sure.
And I heard Michael Keaton was going to be in Aquaman 2, and then they took Ben Affleck and put him back into the bat suit and reshot those scenes. And I heard that, and this is all rumor. Right now, it's a lot of rumor.
A lot of rumor.
Zaslav loves Henry Cavill as Superman, so that big rumor of the black Superman and Tasahini Coates coming in and doing all that crap, I think that's out. I think Zaslav is a money guy, and I think he's seeing the writing on the wall. I hope they're seeing it finally. I know I will not step in front of a DC movie again. I backslid a month or two ago and watched Batman. I'm not doing it until they make some changes. If this becomes a real thing, I'd be down with it.
So here's a quote. We're not going to launch a movie until it's ready. We're not going to launch a movie to make a quarter. And we're not going to put a movie out unless we believe in it.
Good.
This means adjusting the way we invest going forward, also evaluating both projects already completed or in progress. Wonder Twins, Batgirl, and Scoob, Holiday Haunt are examples of streaming films that do not fit this new strategic approach. These are difficult decisions. We are committed to being disciplined about a framework that guides our constant investment for maximum returns. So this isn't about going back to the old stories, right? This is about money. So, which is fine. This is about what's not making money. So as long as it's not making money, he doesn't want to do it. And if he looks at the stuff and says this is crap, he's not going to do it.
No.
So,
and that's encouraging because at least he has his own idea. Now, I'm not stupid. I don't think it's going to fix everything and all my beloved characters are coming back, but it might. I mean, he might be just saying that to like not offend anybody and planning to go in there with the red axe instead of the red pill and put it on them. And
another thing this article brings up, which is good, is they're going to the top three: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and
work out from there, which is smart.
Yeah.
I mean, granted though, Marvel didn't. They did Iron Man, and he was kind of I wouldn't call him a second tier hero, but he wasn't a household name.
No, but they got a good actor. They had a good story, but I think they blew it by blowing up the cast list. Too many heroes. Too many. Like it got formulaic. It had all the things, and they, instead of taking their time, like you were saying, with Doomsday. Well, Doomsday is a DC thing, but they also blew it with the Marvel Cinematic Universe by bringing in what's his nuts, Gauntlet.
Thanos too soon.
Soon.
But I don't know. I love the thing. Here's the problem. I love the 23 movie. Not loved every one of them, but I love the arc through Endgame. I did. But they kind of, to use a crude metaphor, they shot their wad.
Yeah. And
so really now, Multiverse of Madness, whatever is going to happen with Kang, whatever stupid crap is going on with Loki, it's who cares now? And they're being, it's the MCU.
Loki, yeah, I think Loki's getting canned too.
And I don't know if it should. I just don't get the dumbness, and that's the thing I hope they avoid. I hope they don't, because I know Zaslav is not going to focus on streaming. He wants theatrical releases, and that should be the case. You need to leave people wanting more. It's not just absorb content like Disney's doing.
But they're also focusing on the movies,
which they should.
So they're not going to focus on the comics. Because someone pointed out that they changed the name on the website to just DC, not DC Comics.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't care if DC Comics disappeared for 5 or 6 years.
I'm with Green Apple.
I know you are. I'm not fully, but I feel you. Green Apple. I think most people are tired of cape crap in general. I've been tired of cape since 2016. Fair enough. I'm not, but I'm much more of a comic fan than probably Joe is.
Yeah.
But I'm not as much as, say, my boy Martinson, who's happy to see lots of things. But I think even he would say he's a little disappointed in some of the crap that's come out. And he's pretty. I mean, I don't mean to speak for you, Martinson, but I mean, you're a bigger fan of all the stuff there. You just want to see the cool characters on the screen. I'm more demanding, and I need the politics that especially politics that I hate. It can't be you can't be telling me some message. You can't be, what does critical thinker say? The message.
The message.
Yeah, I don't want to hear the message.
Right. So I don't think anybody should be overly excited for Zaslav bringing in a red wave of any sort.
Right.
He wants to cut the not money making things out,
Mm-hmm.
and leave the money making things in.
Which
And Superman and Batman have always, Wonder Woman.
Yep.
You can't say always because there hasn't been a lot of Wonder Woman on the silver screen, but her first showing was really good. After that,
but her comics were pretty strong, especially in the 90s.
the comics were strong.
Yeah, but I think the comics are now very weak, and so I think that's telling. I hadn't heard that DC was now on there. Was just the title. I think comics. There's rumor that Titans, the Flash, the series is going to be gone, yeah, Malky. Oh God, you heard this, Joe? Malky makes a good point. I think this on Eric July. There's a comic recently where Harley says you can shoot Joker in the face, unlike systemic racism or toxic masculinity. And it's like, come on. But I just, I liked Harley when she first came out in the Batman series, the original animated in like 1990 something. But to be honest with you, she's ridiculous now. I mean, they act like she's just a badass. Come on. Even Margot Robbie, what is she, 5'9" and 110 pounds? And Harley, she's not kicking her, but get out of here. No one buys that.
Harley Quinn was never like a super.
Well, she is
she's
now.
Not super. She's never
a tough fighter.
Was she back in the day too?
No.
Or was she more like a
No.
Was she more like a Black Widow type?
Yeah. Martin
Was she ever a Black Widow kind of character?
No, she's not to me. I mean, she might have changed. Now she's apparently the greatest thing in the world. Martinson says the Flash TV show is getting a shortened season. But when I said the red axe or the red pill, the red wave, whatever, that's Randy being super helpful. But
no, I wasn't referring to that.
But I think it is foolish to think it's something more than what it is. But I do think, I have said this before, I wish DC and Marvel would both be destroyed as far as comics go, and movies too. But yeah, I agree, Maliki. Though I think what's his face is probably Bale's pretty good. I hope that DC goes under. I hope that Zaslav is actually a really reasonable guy, and I hope he makes them do something good. Green Apple says, I don't remember her being a hand-to-hand fighter, more sneaky. Yeah, me too. But now she's like, you see her throwing people all over the place, even in the new Suicide Squad. Like she's some total, and she does a lot of like fighting all these guys and hand-to-hand, and I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Anyway, the focus seems to be shifting toward the top three. Their top three heroes, which is a good thing. So we'll see how this pans out for DC. I hope that they get their collective heads out of their collective butts.
Mm-hmm. Mar Hockman says original Harley was able to fight Lex Luthor's bodyguard D Mercy to a draw. Okay. DCAU.
I know. He just a typo. Bodyguard Mercy.
To a draw in the DCAU. DCAU. I don't know what that is.
Animated
universe. Okay. But yeah, okay, fair enough. Maybe she was better than I thought. Normal human who was not using any, but she wasn't a normal human using no real weapons. Okay, fair enough. But I don't know. It doesn't matter. I used to like Harley. I think conceptually she was cool. She was funny and cute at the beginning, but now it's a little annoying.
She was introduced in the animated series?
Yes. Yeah, she was not even in the comics first. She was in the animated series first. Yeah.
That's fine.
But anyway, my fingers are crossed. I'm hopeful, but I'm also realist. It's probably not going to be what I want it to be. So
I think that we will be able to say that the movies don't suck, but they may still not be to our taste.
Right. Calvin One, you kids are too old for comic books. I am, but I'm still buying them, dude.
Right. And my for me, the comic book movies have become too formulaic. Yeah. So, which is the same reason I stopped liking zombie movies or slasher movies. However, when that one zombie movie came out, Shaun of the Dead, it had a different take on it. It was funny, it was quirky, and it was different enough so that it's still a zombie movie, but it's fun. So if someone comes out with a quirky, different type of superhero movie, like when they came out with
Deadpool.
It was before. This was the one before Deadpool. Star-Lord.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
So Guardians of the Galaxy was a little irreverent, even though, from what I understand, it doesn't really match up with the comic very much at all.
No, it's better than the comics. Comics were crap.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, I didn't like Guardians at all.
Oh, okay.
So Malachi, comment real quick, Joe. Her referring to Harley Quinn, a popularity in the animated series got her in the comics. Correct. That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, Guardians. So Guardians was a different enough superhero movie that I was like, okay, this is cool. But then the second Guardians, I was like, nah.
I still liked it, but when Guardians came out, I went to the movies almost kicking and screaming with somebody, and I was like, this is gonna suck.
Yes, Cabin in the Woods was good.
Yep. But I like the comic book formula. I like the Herculean mythology. I don't mind it. I can watch some of the same stories over and over and not get put off. You just got to do them well, dude. Just do them well. That's all I say.
Well, right. A comic book story can be told different ways, so you don't have, it's the same movie with just a different wrapper. I don't really care for that.
Right.
So anyway, and that's just my take. So. And they might do that with the DCEU, which would be better than, having the message in it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Even if they don't follow. So if they didn't follow the story very well, but it was still a well-made movie, and even if it was a little bit formulaic, it would still be better than all the movies with the message.
Oh, for sure. So my last little thing here, if you're ready to move on after DC, I just wanted to make you aware as much as everybody else. There's this guy I watch on YouTube called Call Me Chato. He's a ex-network executive. He's a Canadian, which normally would be, challenging for him, but he's managed to overcome that. He's a cool cat. Anyway, Joe will put the link to his most recent YouTube video where he's been on vacation for a month and he comes back in. And I think he gives the hardest, most truthful, and his language is a little bit colorful, which is odd for him. He's a funny dude. I think you would like him, Joe. It's called Call Me Chato, and he just blasts Hollywood just for the way they have treated geek fans and properties, why they think why they should have any right to do what they do. And this is an ex-network executive guy. And he is funny, and he's not super red pill guy, but it's really good. I'm going to write, hopefully in the chat here, get that right. That's the name of his YouTube channel, Call Me Chato, and he talks about all sorts of stuff, TV related movies. He's a nerd from way back, an older guy, and I think he's really, I don't know, It kind of sums up when I'm feeling angry. I'm like, dude, that's the truth. Yeah, Man of War saw it. Yeah, it is hysterical and it's spot on, isn't it, dude? When you say it's spot on, yeah. So, Biggus Geekus just put the link in there. Check it out. Yeah, I think it's worth your time and worth a watch. It's about 12 minutes, but I've never seen him get that angry. He's usually laughable, but you could tell him he's really annoyed.
And the problem is with the direction a lot of Hollywood folks are going is it's wedge building. You're building a wedge between folks who are more traditional and folks who are less traditional. When it's entertainment, most of us want to try to forget that stuff. And they make such issues out of issues that you keep to yourself. There, things that the way I've put it is there's no discretion anymore. People want to talk about all kinds of things out in the open that they should just not. You can if you want to. I believe in free speech, but just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should.
Oh,
I don't think that your body should be regulated, but I'm not going to recommend you go smoke crack.
No. But his point is really, the bigger point is that they steal these IPs like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek, and they turn them in their own vision of gobbledygook, and they don't appreciate the fact that the reason they're popular and the fandom that liked them, they don't even like the fandom that actually liked them. They change it, then they get mad at you because you get mad because they change it. And they go, oh, how dare you do this for clicks? We're not doing it for clicks. We're doing it because you're destroying something we love. It's none of your business. If you're going to do it, show some respect. And he is spot on.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I want to say. I would just encourage everyone, including Joe, to watch. I think it's worth 15 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it is. It's quite hilarious. I would say watch him all the time. I like it. So
Sounds good. I will give that a watch. I hadn't had a chance to do that before now.
that's cool.
So,
I think you'll like it.
good deal.
Yeah.
All right.
His channel's good.
Right. Okay, so
That wraps up 100? Does that wrap up?
That wraps up 100. Lots of folks are talking about comic stuff. Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast, claims that he is biased. Aren't we all?
Yes. I think we're talking about he likes Shadows, so.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on, Malachi.
My issue isn't Malachi. My issue isn't how they change characters, but that they change they change established characters. They make Iceman gay and ignore North Star a gay X-Man. Yeah. Cal. I already know my fans hate me, and I hate them. I'm not doing nothing for them.
Well, I'm your fan, and I love you, Cal.
He told me before we started that he was probably going to leave his wife for you.
Oh, well, perfect. All right.
All right.
Thanks, Green Apple. Thanks for the stream. He looks forward to seeing us every week. All right.
That is awesome. Very encouraging.
We look forward to seeing you guys, too. It's awesome to have the chat we have.
Yeah. We did hop up to 20, which is good.
Nice.
All right. So if that's it, that it?
That's it.
If you would like to support our show, well, hold on. Let me do the thing. I'm doing the thing.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Yes.
Hit the thumbs up. Bell notification so you know when we're coming on, even though it's only once a week and it's well publicized when we go on. So anyway, hit that bell notification. Comment after the fact, please. That helps out if you would like. We'll have some links in the show notes for how to contribute to us if you would like as well. And those places are at paypal.me/Biggus Geekus. We're on streamlabs.com/Biggus Geekus1/tip. And we are over at anchor.fm/Biggus Geekus.
Yes.
Those are all the places. Our website is biggusgeekuspodcast.com. Also, upcoming website is Big Geek Emporium, where we have a donation page until we have the real page up. Hopefully, very, very soon.
Very, very soon.
And if you have any questions or concerns, or maybe you can send us another phrase that emulates Biggest Geekus to you, even though you're not going to win anything. We'll read it on our next episode.
Yeah.
And that email is thegeeks@biggusgeekuspodcast.com.
Congratulations to Timmy, for winning the Ultimate Traps. So you're saving me postage.
Good job, Tim.
Good job, Tim.
You had most likely the best phrase, I think.
Oh, did he? There were several good ones. I don't know.
That is the one where he had all of the alliteration throughout.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty cool.
All right. If that is all, is that it all?
Yeah,
that is all.
Let's do it.
We will do it as soon as I'm ready.
Okay. So in a few hours.
I am not yet ready.
In a few hours, we'll be leaving. Thanks, everybody, for joining us in episode 100. It was awesome.
Yes. And this is Joe.
And I'm Randy.
And remember, if you can't be big like us, then be geeks like us.